welcome to the Captain Vita Show, and welcome to the first episode of Throwback Reviews, where every Thursday, instead of putting up one of them Throwback Thursday pictures of me as a younger gentleman, instead we are going to review a movie of yesterday, a movie of yesteryear, a movie that came out a few years ago and I didn't review it because I wasn't born yet. Or a movie that did come out and I wasn't a reviewer. I'm gonna review older movies now! We're starting this off with one of the best movies I have ever laid eyes upon. Of course, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So let us hope for a most triumphant review. So, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, for those of you unaware, tells the story of two idiotic teenage dude bros who both share a dream to make their band, Wild Stallions, become the biggest band. They want to be the next big thing. They're like, we're going to be the best. But that dream is threatened when all of a sudden they find out they're flunking history. And if they flunk their history class, they flunk out of high school. So in order to not do that, and in order to not have Ted get sent off to military school in Alaska and have them be separated, they're like, man, we need to get an A+ on our final history report. How do we do that? Well, help just happens to come in the form of George Carlin in a time-traveling phone booth, and he's all like, Bill and Ted, the future loves you. We need you to pass this history report, so you can just use this phone booth to go collect historical figures and then just bring them back and learn things. And they're like, excellent! That's really the movie in a nutshell. And this is a special movie to me. I still remember the first time I saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It was actually, ironically enough, in a high school history class. I think it was my junior year of high school, and my teacher that year was just a total bro. He was a total cinephile, and he loved just showing us movies. And I remember one day he was just like, we're just gonna watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because history's in it and stuff. And we watched it and just instantly fell in love with every single thing about it. And over the years since, I have rewatched it and rewatched it over and over again, still never losing its charm. And then finally, this Blu-ray shows up out of the blue. I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch it again. Still a masterpiece. And there is so much to love with this movie. It's almost hard to even think, where do you start with a masterpiece of this caliber? I guess with the brilliantness that is its ridiculous storyline, because if you really look at the real concept behind Bill and Ted, it's a, dare I say, excellent one, where it's like, hey, what if we took those 80s dude bros, you know those guys who were super into metal music and they talked like surfer dudes? Yeah, what if we took them, gave them a time machine, sent them back in time without any of them pesky time travel rules that you see in every time travel movie ever, it just shoves it down your throat. We just send them back in time and say, be yourself and talk to history. That's a brilliant idea with an even better execution that leads to absolute comedy gold at every corner. Just the sight of seeing these two imbeciles just waltz up like this to just these historical figures and be like, how's it going, Royal Ugly Dudes? It is absolute brilliance at its best, and I mean that. This is one of the best time travel films I've ever seen just on that idea alone, and it works in vice versa as well. Because on the one hand, while you do have Bill and Ted going through time and like bringing their 80s vibe to all these different time periods, which is great, you also have the fact while they are going through time, they are picking up numerous historical figures and bringing them back to their time, which in this movie was the 80s. So you get to see all these historical figures go back to the 80s. You get to see Beethoven shredded on keyboards at the Guitar Center. You can see Genghis Khan just destroying sporting goods stores with a bat like a crazy person. You get to see Napoleon fall in love with water slides. It is stuff like this. This is why I can't make movies. Because how could I even think to make a movie that could live up to something like this? It's impossible. And what brings that comedy gold to new levels is just the fact the actors in this movie have this unusual dedication to it, where if you're playing a historical figure in this movie, you are being very authentic to that historical figure, while at the same time adding that little 80s goofiness to it to make that character something special and something that's fun to watch. And then of course you have them set against your titular duo of Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves as Bill and Ted, who are absolutely iconic. These two are perfect together. Everything from the way they pull off these dude bro accents that make you absolutely fall in love with them. Just their body language, the way they move around. They have this charm that is undeniably amazing that you just fall in love with immediately and you just want to see them on screen forever. You want to be these guys. You want to hang out with these guys. They're amazing. And then of course you have George Carlin as Rufus, which just... Man, George Carlin as a time-traveling dude, it never gets better. It never gets better than that. It's just always perfect. And beyond all that craziness, all the craziness from the plot and all the excellent characters this movie has, what really sets it apart and makes it something that's truly special to me is just the language inside of it. Because this is a movie that, yeah, these two characters, they're dumb, but they are using these beautiful, prolific words, these profound words in these sentences that just make for some incredible quotage where they're just running around like, oh man, that's excellent, or most triumphant, oh heinous, bogus, bodacious, everything down to like when they agree on something, they just do that ding guitar solo thing. It is so perfect in a way that, for one thing, it leads to extreme quotability where you can just sit there watching this movie and have quotes just fly in your face. And not to mention, it leads to also that charm I'm talking about, that charm that Bill and Ted has. It comes from the way they vocalize their thoughts. It's beautiful to watch. It's something that's so crazy that if you go buy this Blu-ray, there's actually a feature on here, a bonus feature, that is just the linguistics of Bill and Ted. That's dedication. So, in the end, everything about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is, dare I say it again, excellent. In fact, excellent is an understatement for how good this movie it is. It is absolute comedy gold with a brilliant concept and hysterical execution. Two of the most iconic comedy characters I've ever seen put to screen. It is a movie that I think should be viewed by everyone at least all their life, like many times. You can't just watch this once, you need to dissect it, you need to give it to your children. I think many other history teachers need to follow in the footsteps of my history teacher and just put this on their syllabus. Be like, oh yes, we'll learn about the Roman Empire and this, and then we'll watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I think that's a great way to really teach your students not just about history, but how to be excellent to each other. And then as they leave the class, you can be like, oh yeah, and by the way, party on, dudes! Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure gets a out of 10. Or, you know, like an A or something. Hey everybody, thank you so very much for watching my throwback review for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. As always, I want to hear what you think. Have you seen the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to see it? Are you going to skip it? What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comment section below because I want to hear them. As always, guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, be sure to follow me on all my social medias and join Enter the Cinephile on Facebook. And since these throwback reviews are a weekly thing now, be sure to let me know what other movies you'd like to see me review. I'm thinking next week, because also from Shout Factory, I believe The Thing is being re-released, so maybe we review The Thing. Either way, let me know the movies you'd like me to review, but most importantly, remember to stay excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.